I've been coming to this church since I was about 8 or 9 years old with my family. And it's actually a crazy story that before this building was built, when it was just dirt, my mom and I, we got to come here and join a group of people that gathered together and say, hey, we're gonna pray for all that God is about to do through this church. We got these wooden stakes and wrote some Bible verses on them, and we got to stake them into the ground. And it was a beautiful moment, and it's something that I'll actually never be able to get out of my mind, that so many years ago, my mom and I got to be a part of something foundational and something that we'd actually see the fruit of visually with our own eyes. The marriages that we prayed for to be restored one day are getting restored here in this home. The people that we're going to one day just need to be set free of bondage and addiction, we get to see those people set free today. We get to see the families restored, the families united, all because of people that got to pray together. And I got to be a part of that from such a young age. And growing up, it's not something that we made a priority growing up. My family and I, we came to this church one week, missed 4 or 5 weeks, then we come another week, miss another 4 or 5 weeks, until I turned about 18 years old, where I had my own fresh revelation with Jesus, and my whole life changed forever. And from then on, I've been able to see my family serve together here week in and week out. It was in this home where I got to meet my beautiful wife. It's the place where I've gotten to meet some of my best friends in the entire world, people that were groomsmen at my wedding, people that have been by our side throughout the amazing times and the moments that haven't been so great. Like when I lost my grandfather a few years ago, it was this home, it was this church that was the first to respond. They were the first to say, hey, we're gonna help you with the funeral ceremony. We're just gonna be by your side, and that's just who this home is. It's the place that's not just a house to go to, but it's a home for so many. A place where we have seen marriages restored, a place where we have seen people healed, and it's going to be something that we're going to continue to see from day in and day out. It's crazy to think how this building is almost 15 years old already, because any single time that you walk in, you can still know that this place, this house is going to be beautiful. It's going to continue to always be restored. It's going to continue to always look beautiful because we have people that believe in this home. And because of the generosity of people that call this place home, we've been able to do things like add in 3 brand new AC units. We've been able to improve the quality of our services by adding a brand new LED screen. We want it to be the best that we can give, the best that we can have it. I think one of my favorite things that we've been able to add over the last year is our Circle Cafe right in the front and the front patio. I love that Calvary is not just a service that we attend, but it's the people that we are. It's the people that pray for each other. It's the people that love each other. It's the people that genuinely care for each other, that are there to build each other up and to point each other onto all that God has called us to do. And I'm excited for the next 15 years, for the next 20, 30 years of all that God is about to do here in this home.
My name is Eddie Villa.
My name is Rose Villa.
We came to Calvary, I think it was 2008, about 14 years ago, working on 15. And we got there. I was kind of coerced to get there, but I needed it. We were broken. I was broken. It was a rough time in our relationship, in my life. I was, doing things I wasn't supposed to be doing. My wife gave me an ultimatum: either I go to church and I go seek help, and if not, that would be the end of our relationship. And all I know is, once I walked through those doors, I've never felt more at home in Calvary. And from that day on, Calvary just became our home.
We went through a lot in our life. We went through ups and downs. We see the God, the miracles of the Lord that they did in our life, in our path, in our journey. And in 2018, it was a really difficult time for me. It's something that you never expect when just I went to the doctor just for a simple follow-up, and then start all the running tests back and forth, and finally I have been diagnosed with breast cancer. So it was really hard for me, because I was like almost 2 weeks on denial completely. Like I didn't want to understand. I was felt like, okay, God, I'm serving you, I worship you. Why me? Why me? What about my kids, my husband, my family? And I felt for the first time like very depressed, very sad, like, where are you, God? After that, I start, praying more, seeking more for God. Why this is happening to me? But I understand that this is no why. Stop, stop complaining. It's not why. It's about for what. What is the reason? I'm preparing you for something. And for me, it was like a second opportunity in my life, second chance. And what God did in my life, He healed me. I'm here and I'm alive. I can see my kids, my children. Because of Calvary, they were for me 24/7, praying. They helped me in this journey. They come. I have friends. They came to clean my house. They sent me food every day. We were like overwhelmed. We felt the love, the prayers, and even the doctors told me one time, you don't see like you're going through this treatment, going through this situation in your life. So I felt the love of God in my house, in our family.
When we first get to Calvary, like us, when we first got to Calvary, it was like a hospital for the soul. It was. We went there, we were sick, and we got better. And I believe that a lot of people go and come to Calvary, and this is what they go through. But after a while, we're better now. We feel good. We're serving in Calvary. We're healthy now. Now it's time for us to think about the future. Now it's time for us to think, what can... John F. Kennedy said, you know how he said, don't ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country? Well, this is how we should feel as family in Calvary. Not what the church can do for us. What can we do to build God's kingdom? What can we do to just go out there and make it better? How can I help? Whether it's financially or your time, whatever it may be. But we need to spiritually grow and know that this doesn't run by itself. We have to help it. We got to be part of the kingdom. We got to be part of building that kingdom.
Honestly, it's crazy to think about it, but I've been coming to Calvary now for 14 years, and it's been one of the best parts of my life, if not the best. And just thinking about all the things that this house, this church, the community that is within this church has meant to me, and the stories of the love and care that I've received from this church is endless. I found my calling here. I found my wife here. I found my extended family here. But most importantly, ultimately, I found Jesus here. I found my salvation, and my life was forever changed here at Calvary. And a little bit about my story, it starts around when I was 13 or 14. I didn't grow up in the church, wasn't a follower of Jesus growing up. But there was a moment in my life that was a catalyst to me encountering Jesus, and that was when I was a teenager. My parents got a divorce, and that affected me very, very deeply. And I was raised right. I was a good kid. I had a good life. was a nice person, had all those boxes checked out, but something within me, because of what happened through my my family's divorce, I just kind of spiraled out of control and was very angry, was very bitter, was searching for life, hope, searching for peace, searching for some sort of satisfaction in all the wrong places, and was truly hurting deep inside as much as I would hide it. But it was one Sunday where my mom goes, "Hey, I signed you up for youth camp, and it was a lot of money, and so you have to go. You have no choice." And so I was forced to go to youth camp, but I'm so grateful she did that, because it was at youth camp at 17 years old. I was saved, I was baptized, and my life was forever changed. And here's what I believe, that what does that have to do with Heart for the House? What I believe is that there's many people in the city of Miami that were just like me, looking for the answer in all the wrong places, looking for hope in the things that this city has to offer, realizing that those things don't offer anything. But Heart for the House, what we're saying with our generosity, with our resources, with our time, with the things that we're gonna give, what we're saying is, hey, we are not just a church in the city, but we're a church for the city. We want people to know that Jesus is the answer that they've been looking for, that the gospel is the good news and it can change their lives forever. And what does that do with finances? Well, we believe that people meeting Jesus is not just praying for them, it's not just preaching to them. All that is very, very vital, but we believe that finances take a huge place in people being reached for the gospel. And all throughout 2021, you can see through our Heart for the House Fund, all the fruit, all the results of your obedience when you give. This is not just my tithing, the staff's tithing, Kingdom Built. This is the collective church. What we gave through Heart for the House, this was the results. And before I share these results, before you're encouraged, before we celebrate these things, I want to encourage you, like, what we give in the house is a gift to our city. What we give to our house through Heart for the House, it doesn't just stay in this church. It goes out. We don't hold it all together. We make sure that we are generous and we give this to our city. And guess what happens? People see Jesus. People's needs are met. The resources that we now have can be shared through our city. Church, I'm excited because I want to share some numbers with you that I hope that you celebrate, that you even clap. I just think that this is something awesome that all of us can know. It's not just my win, the pastors and the staff's win. This is all of us as a church collectively celebrating what all of our sacrifices together have done. And so because of your generosity, we have been able to invest $90,000 towards our community through our multiple city care initiatives. It gets better. We've served 3,000 people through our city care outreaches, provided 1,000 food bags to our community, and served over 2,000 meals through our homeless outreach. Gets even better. We've invested $8,000 towards our back to school drive and served over 700 children. And this one is something personal to me because this is literally what I eat and breathe is youth ministry. And because of your generosity, last year we were able to fund Encounter Conference and be able to create a space where the conference can be completely free. So parents and families wouldn't have to worry about it paying a ticket. If they couldn't, there's no excuse. It's free. Get them in the building. Because of that, so many youth and young adults, their lives are forever changed. And as you think about these numbers, yes, let's celebrate. Yes, let's cheer. Let's make sure that we are excited about what God did through our generosity. But also I want you to think about this. Think about the face behind the dollar amount. I want you to think about the family behind the food bag. I want you to think about the child behind the book bag. These are real people going through real struggles, going through real issues. And because of your financial generosity, yes, your money made a way for them to know who Jesus is and not just talk about it, but actually walk this thing out and say, hey, we're not just gonna pray over you. Yes, we wanna pray over you. Yes, we wanna bless you. We wanna tell you about Jesus, but we're also gonna show you what Jesus can do for you. And he wants to bless you. He wants to provide for you and let you know that he cares about your family. He cares about your life. Remember, we're in this together. So let's change our city, you and I, and bring our sacrifices to the table and make a difference like never before. God bless you, church.
I've been coming to Calvary for a little over 7 years.
And Calvary means so much to me and my family. It's so much more than just a building and so much more than just a church service. But really, this church has impacted my life and my family's life in a very special way. For me, it's not so much of what I can get on a Sunday or what happens on a Sunday, but really the relationships that me and my wife have been able to cultivate because of this church. It's made me a better son, a better husband, a better friend, a better brother, a better leader. It's the people in this house have helped me grow and challenged me in a very specific way. And even now in this new season that me and my wife are in, as we welcomed our first son less than 2 months ago, one of the things I pray for constantly is that he would be surrounded with all the right people. And I am confident that the people I personally do life with here at Calvary will be that community that surrounds him. And even more than that, the new generation that's being brought up in this house, I just know my son will be raised with people that love God, that will help him get closer to God and will lead him in the right direction. And this church is so important to me and my wife, and that's why we love it so much. I love that as a church too, we've been able to help improve our church in Cuba. Our friend Ricardo, the last time he was here, we made sure we sent him home with equipment like a screen, a projector, and just other resources so that they can make their services better and to help improve that church. And the organizations that we partner with, like Vision Rescue in India or Pan de Vida in Ecuador, I love that we're able to work with them and help resource them so that they can help children and families under the poverty line in those countries. And not only are they meeting their needs, not only are they feeding them, not only are they giving them housing and clothing, but also we're trying to resource them and educating them and providing health care so that they can make a better future for themselves. As a church, we're not just committed to our home, we're not just committed to our city, but we're committed to blessing our world.
Heaven on earth. I absolutely love what that means. I really believe it's what we're called to do. Jesus said in the Gospels that the kingdom of God is like a mustard seed that's planted in the ground. And over some time, it grows into this huge tree and the birds get perched up on it. And I think that's a beautiful picture of what the church is called to do. And I think we take the gospel of Jesus Christ and we begin to sow it in hearts all throughout our city, all throughout the world. And over some time, Jesus says, you don't even know how it happens, those who do sow the seed, but over some time, the gospel message just begins to take place in the hearts and lives of men and women all throughout the world. And it begins to create an area of rest, an area of peace, an area where families can come together, an area where lives are restored, an area where people find God's presence, God's home. I really feel that's what heaven on earth means. That's what we're called to do, is to spread the kingdom of God.
Yeah, when I think of heaven on earth, I think of us becoming a reflection of who God is, of what he comes to give, to provide his characteristics. I think of us becoming an example of mercy and grace and forgiveness and love and help and kindness. And that's in essence everything that we get to do, and what we desire so much to bring heaven on earth, right? So many times the world is crazy, and we see that now more than ever. But even in those moments where life can seem chaotic and crazy, and there's all kinds of things happening in our personal lives and around the world, that we can still have heaven in our hearts, that we can still have the peace of God in our hearts, that we can still carry out this message of Jesus in our hearts and find heaven within us and in everything that we do. So I love that as a church, that is our main goal through everything that we do, through every city care outreach, through everything that we do when we help our world, everything that we do when we help our city and our own home, is that we're bringing this message of heaven, of love, of hope. And we've seen it throughout the year, and everything that we have done, just we've been able to give so much, right? Sometimes it's not just about an amount, but it's what that amount becomes, what it does, who it could reach, the lives that it can transform. And so I love that we are moving with this idea of heaven on earth. It is possible. It is possible for us to bring hope, to bring help, to bring healing to people as we carry heaven in our hearts and through our actions.
That's right. Calvary has done so much in the past 20 years. I'm proud to be a part of this church. I still remember when me and Diana walked in, and what I love is that we continue to say the best is yet to come. And so we are not going to stop bringing heaven on earth. We're talking about a preschool for kids next year and giving kids an opportunity not just to get an education, but also the gospel. We're thinking about more city care initiatives, and part of this offering is to get a home for our human trafficking survivors and to finally have a place to call our own. I think about the world, and we're now going into Togo, Africa, and we're partnering with Compassion, and we're opening up a center there in Togo, which is one of the most forgotten places. And Compassion said this is a place where they need help, and we said we'll respond to the call, and we're going to bring heaven to earth in that section as well. I mean, there's so much opportunity, so much more to do, and I love that together we are going to do this. We're going to bring heaven on earth, and so we're going to ask you to partner with us. If you would pray, if you would consider, for this upcoming year, we have a goal of $400,000 that's going to go toward our preschool, that's going to go to our Embrace House, also a new building that we're putting funds on the side for so we can go and get ready for a new space for Calvary, and also Togo, Africa, and much more than we want to do. And so the goal is $400,000. And we're going to pray that you would be a part of that and that you would sow into God's kingdom, heaven on earth. Partner with us. And we believe that we're going to move the kingdom of God forward, and we're going to bring heaven on earth. It's a seed, it's growing, it's a tree, it's providing shadow, love, mercy, forgiveness, and it's covering the world. And we're going to do this together.